Belgium against Slovakia in Frankfurt was something I'll truly never forget, but now it's time to crank it up even further. Willkommen in Deutschland. Yes, hello everyone and welcome to the second part of these Euro 2024 specials on the channel. In the first one we headed to Frankfurt where we saw Slovakia pull off a shock 1-0 win against Belgium in a game and an atmosphere that was truly something I'll never forget. But now the competition does get serious and we're heading back out to Germany for the round of 16 game and to the Signal Iduna Park in Dortmund, where tomorrow we'll be watching the host Germany versus Denmark. So it goes without saying, really excited for this. Of course we did the Dortmund stadium tour on the channel last year, but seeing a game there is going to be a totally different experience altogether. I really can't wait. This is absolute bucket list stuff. Heading down to Stansted where I'm staying in the Premier Inn there tonight, then an early flight to Bremen tomorrow, then the train down to Dortmund. So once again it's going to be a hell of an experience, so let's shut up now and get into this. So, once again on this channel, I am in the Premier Inn in Stansted the night before a trip to Germany. And once again, it is an exceptionally early start. It almost feels at times as though this channel's repeating itself. So, I'm going to get some sleep, then we'll go again in the morning. I'm going to get some sleep, then we'll go again in the morning. Right then, it is game day, Saturday the 29th of June 2024. It is currently 3:30 in the morning. I'm very tired, but relying on the adrenaline that today will bring to keep me going. Let's go. So that is me landed in Bremen, and it is high time we say it once again. Willkommen in Deutschland. I've got to say that Bremen really is a beautiful city. Obviously I had a brief stop off here in September on my way to Wolfsburg for that Germany versus Japan game. Obviously today it's all about Dortmund and Signal Iduna Park, but I definitely would like to come here one day, maybe in the not too distant future, and just have maybe a weekend here to take in a Werder Bremen game, etc. Just get to spend enough time to properly appreciate the place. But looking forward to this little walk through the city that I am going to do. It's a bit deja vu, this, isn't it? On my way to a Germany game and walking through Bremen. The last time I did this, the game ended pretty badly for them, but let's see what happens this time. Can they have a bit of DB30 Sports TV channel redemption? So just in my hotel room now, we're just relaxing a little bit. I have been up quite a long time already today, and it is only 25 to 3, so yeah, I've up nearly 11 hours if you factor in the fact that the UK is an hour behind. But anyway, this is of course the last 16 of these Euros. It is straight knockouts from here. If you lose, you're out. It's as simple as that. And Germany were the winners of Group A, following 2 wins and a draw, while Denmark finished second in Group C, but did draw all 3 of their games. And it's funny to think now, isn't it, really, that I was probably this close all in all to this game being Switzerland versus Slovenia tonight. Of course, in the final round of group fixtures, Switzerland were 1-0 up on Germany, and if it had stayed that way, they would have won the group and therefore been playing in this game tonight. But Germany got the equaliser in the last minute. And as for Denmark, their record was exactly the same as Slovenia's. They both drew all 3 of the games. I think they'd scored the same amount of goals. Obviously, they'd drawn when they played each other, obviously. And their on the pitch disciplinary record was the same. But the only reason Denmark got second was because I think it was Slovenia's assistant coach picked up a yellow card. So Denmark ever so slightly shaded it on disciplinary. So yeah, it was unbelievably close. I think it goes without saying that Germany are going to be the favourites going into this game tonight. You look at how strong they have been so far, the host nation. Yeah, just been playing with quite a lot of quality. They've been very effective, whereas Denmark haven't really been scoring. But I think one thing we can say about them is they have made themselves difficult to beat, which is probably reflected in their results so far. And look, Denmark do have players that can make a difference. I think likes of Eriksson and Højlund. So this isn't a total foregone conclusion for Germany tonight, but personally I do think Germany will get this game won. I mean, I think at this stage, yeah, it is literally just about making sure you get yourself through, no matter how you do it. I'm not sure how Denmark are going to approach this tonight. Whether they'll sort of try and sit in a bit and see if they can maybe take it to penalties. But then again, we all know how good the Germans are at penalties. Or will they just have a go at themselves? I mean, it could be seen as a bit of a free hit for them. Nothing's really expected of them in this game tonight. But stranger things have most definitely happened. Obviously, Germany were very nearly beaten the other night, so they're not totally invincible. Obviously, on this channel back in September, which was nearly a year ago now, it's pretty hard to believe. We saw them get absolutely taken apart by Japan in Wolfsburg. But this is different tonight. It is obviously the last 16 of a major tournament. They'll want to go as far as they can in their own tournament, so got to say really excited for this. I'm going to head back out into Dortmund for a bit. This is a stadium I've been wanting to see a game at for a very long time. I'm sat in what is the yellow wall, I believe. Obviously it'll be a bit different tonight with it being a national team game, but yeah, for the opportunity that's been put before me, I really couldn't say no. So that's why I've come out here for a second time, and hopefully it'll be just as good, if not better, than what I experienced in Frankfurt. So let's head back into Dortmund, then later on we'll head to Signal Iduna Park and find out how it all unfolds. That's what I do for a living, and I just stand in the centre of Dortmund dressed as a giant bear. When in Rome and all that. Apparently they do doner kebabs in the stadium, so I'll be interested to try one of them a bit later on, but right now I'm going to tuck in and enjoy these. Things you won't see at Northallerton Town against West Allotment Celtic on a Tuesday night. So there's the stadium, and there's quite a lot of Danes around, I've noticed. I think the Germans are sort of more in the city centre, the Danes are a bit more towards the ground anyway. We're here, I can't believe I'm watching a match here. It feels quite surreal, not gonna lie. Bearing in mind there is a good hour and 40 minutes or so before the game starts. There's already a lot of people in here, and the atmosphere, yeah, it's really building up. So yeah, it's going to be one hell of a night. Well, I had to queue for a while to get it, but that is absolutely banging. It's about an hour or so before the game starts. Yeah, the atmosphere is still well and truly building up. Yeah, this is going to be a special night no matter what happens. The teams are all warming up. Germany getting ready in the half that we're in. They're going to be in the all white this evening, and Denmark are in the distance, going to be in the all red. I'll see you a bit later on when the pre-match ceremony starts and the national anthems or whatever. Then we'll crack on with the football. keeping the minutes so far, it's only 10 minutes long. So I think the match has been temporarily halted because of the weather. Getting back on the way very shortly. So it should be about a couple of minutes away from the start of the second half, but that's the size of play. And we're back on the way. Half-time, Germany 0, Denmark 0, and perhaps the most shocking thing that's happened tonight, I've just had to pay £7.50 for water. Honestly, sort it out, man. I mean, I know that it's in returnable cups, but all the same, £7.50 for water, away, man. I think let's talk about the football first. I mean, I think if it wasn't for Kasper Schmeichel, Denmark could possibly even be out of this game by now, and if they do go on to win it, I think a lot of it will be largely down to him. I think he's had an absolutely outstanding game so far. The Germans have been pretty relentless with their attacks, but to no avail up to now. But you do imagine as the game does progress throughout the second half and possibly even extra time, like it is just going to get more ferocious, and surely if they keep that up, then before long, like that resistance will have to fall. But Denmark have had a couple of bursts forward themselves. I mean, granted, not too troubling, but there you go. Yeah, I think obviously the main talking point is going to be about the weather. Honestly, never seen anything like that before. I mean, I was looking up at the clouds at the start of the game, and you could see they were sort of building up, and you could maybe sense a bit of bad weather was on the way. I think naturally that does happen. The air did need clearing out a bit. It has been very hot out here today, but interesting one to see the game suspended. I was at the Scotland versus San Marino game a few years ago. If there's any Scotland fans watching, might remember that one. Scotland won 6-0, absolutely lashed it down there. The ball became very heavy, the pitch was nearly underwater, but the game was played to conclusion. So it's maybe a bit of inconsistency, but ultimately it was UEFA's decision. But it would have been like senseless to call this game off, because ultimately you would have to have replayed it for 34 minutes or whatever it was, like maybe tomorrow morning or something like that. It would have been extra costs like in terms of policing the student or whatever. So it's probably the right call to just let the storm pass over, and Touchwood won't have any more of that in the second half or as the night progresses. Obviously I've got to get back to my hotel as well, and fingers crossed like nobody was like hurt by lightning or whatever in the fan zone. There is a lot of people in Dortmund not at the match, so yeah, there are obviously more important things to think about. But anyway, on to the second half. I thought it was offside, like, I'm not gonna lie. It's written in foreign, so I don't know what. Penalty check. Yes! Kann Schweigel besser Reich. Standard. So I'm trying to get back to the hotel. If you thought it was bad during the game, look at this now. Full-time Germany 2, Denmark 0. Didn't actually get into my hotel room until about 1 o'clock, and that is the time behind me, as you can see, and it is now time to get a train to go to Cologne Airport to head home. So yeah, that just shows you that this trip has been done on very minimal sleep, and I'm not sure I'll be able to stay awake throughout the duration of tonight's England game, although they're based on like the group stage performances. That might not be a bad thing, but anyway, let's have a bit of a chat about what was an eventful night in Dortmund, to say the least. Yeah, I mean, obviously the key talking point of it all will be the fact that the game was stopped for the lightning and what have you. I think it was possibly even more UEFA's decision than what it was Michael Oliver's. I mean, at the end of the day, if you agreed with it, disagreed with it, like, obviously, sometimes there is just risks that you can't really take when it comes to lightning, and as well, you've got to remember that like Michael Oliver was not in an easy position, and he had obviously the players and the rest of the officials, the coaching staff to take out, but also the 60,000 people in the stadium attending the match. So there's probably not an easy decision, but it did carry on as I expected it to, and thankfully for the rest of the game there wasn't such issues. But getting back to like Dortmund Central Station, then the local train to Witten, which is where I've been staying. That was a bit wild, to say the least. But let's now address the elephant in the room, which is the situation regarding VAR. I think it's probably is here to stay, but I think it probably has to be said that English referees especially need an intensive training course on how to use VAR, because you look at the foreign referees so far in this tournament, whenever VAR has been called upon, they've had a look and come to a decision as quickly as they possibly could, whereas you see it week in, week out in the Premier League, where the decisions just seem to get constantly dragged out, or just total nitpicking and what have you. So I think it's at this stage possibly not even VAR itself, it's just how we're teaching our referees to use it, if I'm being honest about it. I mean, it really isn't good, but all in all, I did think it was a deserved win for Germany. I thought they were professional. Obviously, heavy favourites going into it, being the horse, and how they sort of came out of the traps in the group stage. But obviously, with being favourites does come quite a lot of pressure, but I think they handled it pretty well all in all. I think Denmark, if we're being real about it, just didn't really threaten enough, and that's probably been their problem throughout the whole of this tournament. Yes, it did take Germany a while to break them down, but they themselves didn't really create enough. They had the one disallowed for offside, which was in the build-up. I knew for a fact that they'd check it. But yeah, again, it's total VAR nitpicking, isn't it? So that must have been a bit frustrating for them, because if that goal stood, then it could have been a totally different game from there. Germany will have been chasing it. They will probably had to have applied the low block. So the pattern of the game could have totally changed from that moment on. But yeah, what an amazing stadium, what an atmosphere it was. This whole Euros experience really is something that I'm personally never gonna forget, and I'm so grateful that I've had the opportunity to do the two games, to visit two great stadiums. Obviously being in amongst the Slovakia fans the first time, being in amongst the German fans last night. I had a chat with a couple of Denmark fans outside the ground before the game. Again, everything very friendly. So yeah, it's been an eye-opening experience, I'll say that. It's been totally different from what I'd expect from a normal match day experience, no matter what level that's at, and I think really football spoiled me over this last year, hasn't it? And fingers crossed that can continue as the channel heads into the 2024 to 2025 season. I'm not messing about. I'm doing my first pre-season game in midweek. I'm doing a season preview video on Monday, so what day that will be, where it'll be, etc. I'll have a bit. I'll know a bit more by then. But this experience is going to stay with me for the rest of my life, and hopefully it's not going to be the last major tournament I get to. I'll definitely apply to the next Euros, which of course we're hosting, possibly the next World Cup, although on a personal level I do have a very busy 2026 coming up. But the 2030 World Cup I most definitely will, Euro 2032 and so on. So I hope you've enjoyed these last two videos. I know the content's been a little bit on and off this month. I've just, apart from these videos, maybe needed a bit of a break from the channel, but from this coming week it is back in full swing, maybe two or three uploads per week from that point for the best part of a year. So just stick with us, and hopefully more good times to come in the next year or so. But I'm just going to leave this video here. Once again, thank you so much for watching. Take care. I'll see you in the 2024-25 season.